Hello, my JUKI friends. My name is Alba, and I am the JUKI National Sales Trainer. I'd like to welcome you to my home, and today we will be working on a quilted zippered bag. I have these all over. I have them in my purse, in my gym bag, holding my sewing supplies. I've even made several for my husband that he loves. So I hope that you enjoy making these as much as I enjoy showing you how to make them. Today we will be working on the DX 2000 as well as getting a sneak peek on the MO 2800 serger as a finishing option. So let's get started and go over to the machine. Welcome back. So here I am in front of the DX 2000 QVP machine, and this is a machine that we will be working on today in order to make our quilted zippered bag. I am going to be using a zipper foot along with the standard foot that comes on the machine, and I wanted to review again the fabric pieces that are on the supply list. I have a zipper that is anywhere from 20 to 24 inches. I want it nice and long to give you extra. And two sets of fabric that are your outside fabric, a liner, and batting, both in a smaller and a larger size. And the smaller size is the front, and the larger size is the back of the bag. We're going to get started now on sewing the bag, and what we will need are our two smaller pieces of fabric and our zipper. On my machine, I have the zipper foot attached, and I am working with a high contrast thread so that you could see the sewing action and what I am doing. So the first thing that we're going to do is examine the zipper. The area where the zipper pull is that you can open and close the zipper is the front of the zipper. I want to place the front of my zipper to the front of my outside fabric. And I want to make sure that my front end of the zipper is hanging a few inches off of my fabric to make it easier to place this on the machine. Now I'm starting with my foot on the zipper just before where the fabric is, and I'm lining up the raw edge of the fabric with the raw edge of the zipper. And I am coming to my machine and I want to lower that, and I want my needle to drop to the rightmost position on the left side of the zipper foot. So let's try and get nice and close to that so that you could see that starting position. I am sewing with the left side of my zipper foot towards the feet, but I want to sew away from the teeth of the zipper, which is a little bit different than normal because I am doing an exposed zipper. Now, if you need to pin this, feel free to pin this. I am at my default needle, my default stitch width and length, and I'm just slowing down my machine so that you could see that sewing action. And I am going to sew this all the way down that zipper. And I'm going to pull that off of the machine so that you could see my stitching, and I have leftover zipper at the end. Now we're going to attach the liner piece, where we're going to put the lining piece right side to right side so that the zipper is sandwiched in the middle. And again, if you need to pin this, please do. But you'll notice that I've turned my fabric upside down so that I could see my stitching line. And that just gives me something to follow. And again, I'm going to slow down my machine just a little bit. And I'm sewing all the way down to the end of where I've previously sewn. Now, when you're lining up your fabric, you want to be certain that the edges, the sides, are lined up as well as that top raw edge. Now, I'm going to flip this open. And you know that you've done this correctly if the front of your bag is where your zipper pull is. And now we are going to sew the back side of our bag. So I'm just going to get a couple of pieces out of my way. And I am going to start with the front of the bag. And my bag front is the print. Now, I'm going to pull this up. You'll see that I have a zipper sticking out and my bag pieces downward. I want to line up that front piece, that outer bag piece, with that top edge of the zipper. And again, making sure that I'm lined up with the edges as well. And I am going to sew this with the zipper facing up so that it's easy for me to see where I'm sewing. And again, I am going to start slightly off of my fabric where I'm sewing from my zipper onto my fabric. And I do not want to stitch right by the teeth of the zipper. This is why my needle is all the way in that rightmost position. And for me, my needle position is at 3.5. And I'm just coming to the end. And you always want to match up your fabrics so that the right side is to the right side. And now I'm going to line up my liner piece. And again, my lining is up and I'm placing my second lining piece up against the zipper so that we're lined up to the edge of the zipper, but my sides are also matching up. Now I've turned my fabric around again so that I see my stitching line, so I have something to follow. And I'm just sewing right along that line. Now I tend not to use pins or clips, but if you find that easier, please pin or clip. And we're going to open this all up so that I have a zipper in the middle and my fabric pieces to both sides. Now, I'm going to go to my iron and press this flat, and I'll be back real shortly. Welcome back, everybody. So what I have in front of me on the table is my bag that has been ironed flat and showing that exposed zipper in the center. Now the smaller side is my front of the bag. the larger piece will become the back of the bag. And one of the things I wanted to show is putting the batting in those layers. I place my batting right up against my seam line near my zipper, and I'm matching that up to my sides. And I'm just giving that a nice quick press. And I used to do this bag where I sewed the batting in, and it left a lot of bulk right by the zipper. And I really didn't like that finished look. So I've started adding my batting afterwards. And as you give batting a press, you will see that it just clings to that fabric. And I just love that for quilting. I'm now going to give you some ideas for quilting this. You may want to do some top stitching along the zipper. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. It just depends on that whole thing. And you want to think about how you will quilt your bag. I like this project because it's a great way for me to practice free motion. Maybe do some ruler work quilting, or take out my rulers and do ruler work. So it's a nice small project that gives you plenty of area to do that. And I'm going to fast forward and show you my bag that I have quilted. Now you will maybe see, because I match those colors really well, but in that blank background area, I free motion some swirls in between my flowers. A lot of times I do just straight lines of cross hatching. Once your quilting is complete on your bag, the one thing that you will want to do is open up your zipper halfway. And what I do is I place a piece of masking tape right over the edge and the end of that zipper to hold it closed for me. Now, with your quilting, your edges may be a little askew. Maybe you just need to clean up your edges and make them nice and straight with a rotary cutter and ruler. And if you need to do that, now is a good time to do that. And remember to hold off and leave that tail end of zipper, because we're going to use that as we assemble our bag. Now I am going to cut off that metal portion so that all I have is all zipper. And I'm just eliminating some threads. And what I am going to do is I am going to fold that, and I like a nice crisscross. And I am going to pin that in place. And I like to place this right below my zipper. And I'm pinning so that my pins are out of my way and I could leave them alone. Now, when this bag gets put together, it will, and I want to place and pin that on the front portion of my bag. When I sew this together, my zipper is going to be into the bag, and I will have an offset zipper as well. Now I am going to remove my zipper foot and go to my standard sewing foot, and we are going to sew the bag together, and then I'm going to clean up the edges with the serger. But if you don't happen to have a serger, I'll give you some other ideas. I am placing my bag right sides to right sides. Make sure that zipper is open. If your zipper is not open, you're going to have a really difficult time unstitching and getting that zipper open. So with that zipper opened, and I have my masking tape holding that edge shut, and I've put my extra zipper in place as a loop. Now I'm putting right sides together. And I am going to sew my 3 raw edges. And let's bring that to the machine. I'm just lining up and making sure everything is straight. Now, that masking tape that I put at the edge of the zipper will hold that zipper closed so that as I start sewing, it will lay nice and flat. Now, I'm going to slow down my machine as well. I am going to sew over my zipper, go in reverse, and I want to sew over that zipper 3 times just to really reinforce that. And now I am going to go in reverse all the way up to the edge of the fabric so that my corner is also reinforced. Now I'm going over my zipper pull, and I am going to go in reverse over that tab that I put on. And I am sewing all 3 sides of my bag. Reinforcing that top corner. And this is what that will look like. I have my open zipper and my 3 edges sewn together. I'm going to go over to my serger at this point, so I'll be right back. So here I have my sewn bag, and you could see some of my free motion quilting from the lining side. And I have my zipper that is halfway opened. Now I want to clean up all of those edges of my bag, and I'm going to do that on the MO 2800 serger. But I'm hearing the questions now, but Alba, I don't happen to have a serger. How can I finish my bag off nicely? You can do a zigzag stitch all around the raw edges, or here's my favorite way of doing it. I like to sew binding and complete those edges with binding the way you would traditionally do that on a quilt. But let me show you how easily it is to finish off the edges on my MO 2800. I'm going nice and slowly over that zipper. And I'm cutting that tail. And I'm going to sew all 3 of my raw edges and just clean those up. And here I am at my last edge. This is what I love about a serger. Look at how nicely that serged edge is on the inside of my bag. The only thing I'm left to do is trim away those tails. Now we're going to turn the bag inside out by opening up that zipper and poking those corners out. And turning that inside out. I just love how quickly the bag comes together. Now I'm going to tear away that masking tape that I put in there, and look at how beautifully that bag finishes off. And I've given myself a little handle with that leftover zipper, which is why I said to go 20 to 24 inches. And I did use a 24-inch zipper to give me a longer pull. So just nicely and quickly, my bag got completed. My zipper lays nice and flat. And my inside edges, I'm just going to open that up, are nicely, beautifully finished. So what a lovely gift, and what a great way to organize everything. As I said, my husband uses these to hold his toiletries for when we go away, keys and documents that he wants to find easily. I have this in my purse, in my gym bag, and with my sewing supplies so that I can quickly and easily just grab my bag and go. I've given them as gifts. I hope you enjoy making this bag as much as I've enjoyed showing you how to make it. Thank you, and until we meet next time.